In a village frozen in time, a wedding tradition hides a horrifying secret. One friend dares to uncover it, but can he save the other from becoming the groom of a ghost? Venture into the chilling silence of a forgotten town, where every whisper hints at an ancient ritual. Every shadow conceals a lurking danger. Will you dare to follow the trail of secrets before it leads to a fate worse than death?
In the heart of a small town, where the vintage clothes shop stood as a sanctuary of nostalgia, Sammy and Paul, inseparable since high school, were partners in a vintage clothes business where every garment carried a hidden tale. In the dim light of their vintage clothes shop, Sammy hesitated before dropping a bombshell that would change their lives. "Paul, I'm getting married," he said. Paul's eyes widened, the hangers in his hands momentarily forgotten. "Married, really? But you've only known her for a few months." A wistful smile played on Sammy's lips. "It's not that simple, there's a tradition I have to follow. I need to travel alone to her town and seek her hand in marriage." Paul's disbelief turned into concern. "Why alone?" "Tradition," Sammy replied, a hint of mystery in his voice. "No friends or family allowed, it's the way things are done there." Despite the whirlwind of thoughts in his mind, Paul chose not to question further. Instead, he made a decision that would intertwine their fates even more. "I'm coming with you." As they prepared for the journey, Sammy's girlfriend added more peculiar details. "You must take the public bus, no private vehicles, and absolute secrecy." Paul couldn't shake off the feeling of unease, but for the sake of his friend, he suppressed his concerns. The vintage clothes business would have to wait as they embarked on a journey into the unknown. The bus ride was eerie, the worn-out seats creaked as they wound through shadowy landscapes. Sammy and Paul exchanged nervous glances, feeling the weight of the unknown pressing upon them. The road seemed endless, winding through isolated towns and dense forests. Upon reaching the isolated village in the distant town, Sammy and Paul were greeted by an old uncle in a creaking pickup. The village, frozen in time, radiated an otherworldly silence. As Sammy and Paul were being dropped off at the last house by the mysterious uncle, the village became really quiet. The old pickup truck drove away, and they were left with just silence and the hope of having dinner. The village didn't have electricity, so it was very quiet, almost like a ghost town. There were only a few houses scattered around, and each one seemed to have secrets hidden in the shadows. When night came, Sammy and Paul got settled in their temporary home, enjoying the peace and quiet. However, the silence was interrupted by a mysterious knock on their door. A woman was standing outside, and her presence gave off a mysterious feeling. A lady named Jenny showed up and said she was Sammy's girlfriend's sister. Her unexpected visit surprised Sammy and Paul, but she assured them she lived in one of the nearby houses if they needed anything. Then, she disappeared into the quiet village. The next morning, Sammy and Paul decided to visit Jenny's house. Inside, they found an old grandma peacefully knitting a scarf in a cozy setting, which was quite different from the mysterious atmosphere of the village. But they did not find Jenny there. Needing a flashlight, Sammy and Paul approached the grandma and asked if they could borrow one. She kindly agreed, smiling, and continued knitting while promising to get a flashlight for them. While waiting for the flashlight, Paul got curious and explored the quiet village. It looked like time had stopped, and there wasn't much happening. During his exploration, he found an old bicycle, an old-fashioned bike, and decided to take a closer look. At night, something strange woke Paul up. He was surprised to see a middle-aged lady very close to him in the dark. She urgently asked to see the groom, claiming to be the bride's mother and wanting to see him only. Paul got scared and thought of waking up Sammy, but then two other ladies, who said they were the bride's sisters, appeared on the other side of the bed. They told Paul not to panic in a quiet voice, their eyes shining in the dim light. The room became silent and tense, only broken by the whispers of these mysterious three ladies. Later Jenny eventually showed up, telling Paul not to open the door for anyone except her. The strange night continued, leaving Paul wondering about the reasons behind these unexpected visitors at night and the secrets hidden in the village after dark. The next morning, Paul's curiosity about the old bicycle came back. Wanting to explore more of the village, he went to where he had seen the bicycle before. To his surprise, he found it hidden and locked up, like someone wanted to keep it a secret. As the mysteries in the village continued, the third night brought a scary revelation. Jenny woke up Paul and urgently told him, "Take Sammy back." It was at that moment Paul understood something was wrong. Sammy had been vanishing, quietly slipping away into the mysterious shadows of the village. In the dark, Jenny guided Paul through the quiet village and into a creepy forest. There, they found Sammy, looking like he was under a spell, about to eat strange food meant for hungry ghosts. Feeling worried, Paul took his cross necklace and put it on Sammy. Miraculously, Sammy woke up. But when Paul looked for Jenny, she was gone, leaving behind an eerie emptiness. Feeling more and more in danger, Paul and Sammy urgently wanted to contact their family. The village, once mysterious and charming, now showed shadows that seemed ready to swallow them. As they dealt with these unknown forces, the village, once silent, now echoed with unseen dangers, and the two friends wished for the safety of their familiar surroundings. Desperation and unease took hold of Paul and Sammy as they tried to find a phone signal in the silent village. Unfortunately, their attempts were unsuccessful. While searching, they came across the uncle who had picked them up on the first day. The uncle's words added another puzzling element to the unfolding mystery. He warned them strongly not to contact anyone from the outside until a mysterious ritual was finished. The next day would complete 3 days, and only then could Sammy go ahead with his upcoming marriage. As night fell again, Jenny urgently woke up Paul, revealing a disturbing truth. Sammy had taken off the protective cross, and the ritual had started. Worried, Jenny begged Paul to rescue his friend before it was too late. Following Jenny's instructions, Paul went into the jungle, guided by the flickering light of candles. The eerie glow led him to a house hidden deep in the wilderness. Bracing himself for what awaited, Paul entered the mysterious dwelling. Inside, he found Sammy standing next to the head of a woman. A chilling realization hit Paul. This wasn't Sammy's girlfriend, not the person he knew. The flickering candles created spooky shadows, and the jungle seemed silent. The unfolding scene hinted at ancient rituals and mysteries beyond the village's quiet facade. Paul stood on the edge of the unknown, grappling with the unsettling truth that his friend had become involved in a web of mysteries beyond their understanding. In the dimly lit house, Sammy called Paul over to witness the object of the mysterious ritual. "See my bride, Paul, isn't she beautiful?" he asked, his voice tinged with an unsettling enthusiasm. With trepidation, Paul gazed upon the woman, only to be met with a sight that sent shivers down his spine. Attempting to rescue Sammy from the unfolding nightmare, Paul tried to drag him out of the house. However, Sammy resisted, ensnared in a trance that seemed to defy reason. Within the confines of the house, familiar faces from the village surrounded them. Strangely, they all wore garments resembling hospital attire, their vacant eyes hinting at something amiss. Suddenly, these familiar faces turned hostile, reaching out to grab them with an intent that felt sinister, like they wanted to devour them. The uncle's ominous words echoed through the air, "You are caught in a trap, forbidden from escaping." In a desperate bid for freedom, Paul fled from the house. Outside, he encountered Jenny, who awaited him with the vintage bicycle. Urgently, she instructed him to ride to the next town, located 5 kilometers away. As Paul pedaled through the silent darkness, the jungle seemed to whisper secrets. The vintage bicycle carried him away from the clutches of the mysterious village, leaving behind the shadows that had ensnared Sammy. The next morning, Sammy, now free from the mysterious trance, went to the police and recounted the harrowing events. However, when the police arrived to inspect the village, they found no trace of anyone, including Sammy's friend. The village, once a realm of shadows and enigma, remained silent and abandoned, leaving behind unanswered questions and the haunting echoes of a mysterious ritual that had ensnared them all.